Go to the Chitas of today. Today we start the portion of Vayelech. And we're holding the book of Deuteronomy, chapter number 31, verse number 1. Vayelech Moshe v'yidaber dvar Melech kol Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu went and he spoke the following words to the entire Jewish nation. Vayem aleim, and he told them, B'mei v'esem shana nechayim. I am today 120 years old. I cannot go and come forward, go out and go forward, come in. Hashem, my mighty lion God said to me, that you should not, you're not going to go over, you're not going to cross the Jordan. Rashi says, when Moshe Rabbeinu says, I can no longer go and come, sounds like he's talking like an old man. So one might think this means that Moshe Rabbeinu's strength evaded it, so he doesn't have the strength anymore, so to say. That Moshe Rabbeinu said that he can no longer go and come. Therefore, the Torah tells us later, his eyes were not dim, nor he's lost his natural moisture. Moshe Rabbeinu was strong, and he was a healthy individual, which teaches us that his powers were intact even the day he was passing. So what does it mean over here, can no longer? He means I'm not permitted. I've handed over the mantle of leadership. I've given it over to Yeshua. And now it's time for him to become the leader. And I have to take a step back. Hashem Amayalai, this is the meaning I can no longer come. Because the Abisha said to me, Anechayim, that is today. Today is the exact day. My days and my years have become complete. On this very day, the 7th day of Adar, I was born. And on this very day, in the 7th of Adar, 120 years later, I'm going to die. Another interpretation, I can no longer come and go, is I can no longer figuratively go and come, meaning I can no longer negotiate the matters of Torah. This teaches us that the channel of transmission and as well springs of wisdom were close to him. This is brought in the Gemara of Seta. In order for Hashem, verse number 3, Hashem God, your God will cross the river we're ahead of you. He's going to destroy these nations from before you. You will dispose of them. You'll inherit them. Yeshua will be the one who crosses the Jordan. Kashadibar Hashem, as God has spoken. And that completes the Chumash for today. We now go to the Tanya of the day. We continue the 18th letter of the Alter Rebbe. The Rebbe talking about the two neshamas, two souls, two powers within a human being. Second category is a love. Sorry, within the soul itself, it has two characters, Av and Yira. So the second is a love and a desire which the soul desires and loves and wishes to cleave to God. We bond up with the bond of life. And the proximity, closeness to God is very dear to it. And that's what it desires. It desires as much as possible its closeness to God. And it's extremely grievous. The to separate himself, to be a distance from God. Chas v'shalom, God forbid. Lias mechitza b'odabazos mechitzenis, that an iron partition of chitzenis, out of forces, force of klippa and unholiness should separate from him, heaven forfend. Thus, it's inherent in the soul's love of God. It is anxious, fear of being alienated from him by a partition resulting from those things the opposers will. The Rebbe's father's writings on the Tanya authored by the father Rebbe, the Likutei Levi Yitzchak, explains that the four terms above: desire, loves, wishes, cleaves, refers respectively to the four levels between the four worlds. Desire is a level of Asiya, love relates to the world of Yitzira, wishes is the world of Ibriya, and cleaves is the world of Atzilus. And this love, Latin is hidden in the heart of every Jew. I feel a bit of shame, even those that are wicked, God forbid. As it's brought down in the beginning of Tanya, chapter 18 and 19. And for this Ava, that's why every Jew ultimately feels bad. And that's why every Jew asks God for forgiveness, because he feels bad, even though he has excuses and he gives the reasonings to what he does. But nevertheless, he feels bad. Alter Rebbe now answer the following implied question: if they did possess this love, why are they wicked? But because it's hidden and concealed, so it's basically dormant. But now and it's in the body, it's in the gullus, an exile in the body. But that's why klippa, this covering, could dominate it. And this is the spirit of folly. This is the moment of insanity. That makes causes a person to sin. So the spirit of folly cloaks this hidden love, ava musuteres, so that one loves the sensitivity to realize one loses the sensitivity. I'm sorry, he loses the sensitivity to realize that through sinning he jeopardizes attachment to God. And therefore, this is man's service in this world. It's chazik l'sgabel ala klippa. As the Alter Rebbe said, we're all baiting him. So we're all going to have the struggle. And we have to strengthen ourselves. And we have to prevail. That's it. We cannot give in. Ala klippa, on this covering. B'chol mi, b'kol mi kol kol. In all its manifestations. Anyway, we have to overcome our evil inclination. That's the way we have to do. We cannot give in. A Jew cannot give in. The first to expel it completely from the body, so that it's absolutely no domain of it. Person should begin with throw everything aside. Throw it out. Chase it out. When it's thought, speech, and action, when it's his tongue, or any of his 248 organs, he's got to chase it out. Expelling the klippa means ensuring that one's brain will harbor no thoughts that are contrary to God's will, that one's tongue will speak no evil words, and the 248 organs will commit no evil acts. Once you have the power, the capability to overcome it, to chase it out, you'll be able to bring out the captive from prison. You'll be able to push it, release my godly soul. I'll take it out of the prison of life. He's been a hostage. I'll unleash my poor soul that's in captivity with a strong hand. Once vanquishes klippa, and by steadfastly turning away from evil, not thinking or speaking or doing those things that are contrary to God's will then be able to uncover the love that is latent within him, that will be able to permeate his positive thoughts, words, and deeds. His mind will thus ponder from the greatness, and his heart then will actively feel the love of God. In turn, this love will result in enhancing the fulfillment of Torah mitzvahs. That he'll be strong in his heart, courageous amongst the valiant. So that the hidden love will become abundantly revealed in all powers of the soul's components in his body. Mainly in his mind and his faculty of thought and his brains. The mind serves to reveal this love. which then manifests through the rest of the person's body. So that corresponding to its intellect and understanding, the mind will constantly think and contemplate on the blessed Creator. How the Eibush is the fountainhead of a life. In general, and is the life force of his soul. As it says, comes Rosh Hashanah, you can make the Eibush the king of the world. You can make the Eibush also king over myself. And that's really the Chachma. To make the Eibush the king over the world is easy. Much easier than to say, HaMelech, that the Eibush is my Melech. He's my king. So there needs to ultimately come the king over us, over me. Each and every one of us. He needs to become king over each and every one of us. And then, consequently, if he'll take away the clipper and reveal a soul, he will yearn. He will actually, the person himself will yearn and desire to be attached to God and near to him with an innate yearning. Ben, a case of like a child who yearns constantly to be near his father, parent. Like a fire, and its very nature is to go above, to go up. Always wants to return to its source. And the more he continues to set his mind on this yearning, the more will this yearning become correspondingly stronger. In the extent of the move, will come to his mouth, he will yearn God verbally, and he'll daven to him, and with all his organs. Lastly, mitzvah, to occupy himself in the learning of Torah and doing his commandments. To cleave to God. Because by learning Torah, the Torah and the Holy One, blessed be He, are entirely one. So this love will thus affect his brains, mouth, and other bodily organs, motivating them to the study of Torah and performance of commandments with a greater degree of love. Okay, says on this great manifestation and yearning and love, it's written, Sama Nafshi. That's what David HaMelech said when he said, Sama Nafshi, my soul thirsts. As a person who's thirsty for water. And yet he has no pleasure from it. This level of love for God is likened to the state of thirst. At this stage, the individual seeking to cleave to God has not experienced any delight. He has yet to cleave to him. All he feels is the pangs of thirst. In the previous described level of love, Avad B'tanugim, the individual has already quenched his thirst. So there's a person who's thirsty, and he has an unbelievable desire for thirst. And there's the person who is drank, and then he has a different kind of tainug. So to speak, his love of God has been realized, and now he's actively cleaving to him. So you have the concept of to cleave to God, and that's a certain tainug that a Jew has a desire to cleave to the Eibishter, and that's the beginning of the service. Ultimately, he cleaves to God, and now he has the tainug of the cleaving that he has with the connection that he has to God. And also concerning this yearning and this love concealed within us, we pray to God. We ask God to help us. We cannot go out of jail without Him. Come out of this imprisonment. It is indeed true that this lesser degree of love is attainable by man and need not to be granted as a gift from above. It is already possessed every Jew, and he need but to reveal it through his spiritual service. Nevertheless, we beseech God to help us reveal this love. We all need the Eibishter's help. I need God's help to be able to have a love of God, to be able to have a desire. That should be our desire. Why am I not yearning for God? Why am I not yearning? I have a soul that yearns God. Why am I not yearning to God? If I have a soul that yearns for God, why am I not yearning? So therefore, I beg the Eibush to reveal my soul. I'm trying to break my klippa. I'm trying to break this wall. Help me reveal the soul. Help me, so I should yearn. The Eibush helps me that I should even yearn for God. And ultimately should fill my heart. That my heart should only yearn for God. I'm not going to take a rival entity in my life. She Taiva said, why would I want a Taiva? Why do I yearn this world? I yearn things in this world. Why? I should yearn for godliness. Why do I naturally yearn for the world and I don't learn for godliness? I daven, I learn. Where is my yearning? Why don't I have Ava Kiddush B'Yesh? I personally need to pray to God that the Eibush should give me the help, that I should reveal this Ava. That it shouldn't be something that is hidden within me. It shouldn't be something that it's something that's burning within me. My godly soul should be the main person in this house. That it should rule over its rival. And ultimately maybe to chase it out. Even in thought and in speech. Maybe I can't get rid of this tzara in action, but let me get rid of this tzara, this rivalry. Why do I need to have this rivalry? I should have the yearning to godliness, and then my yearning to the world should be a secondary to my yearning to godliness. Even though, as we explained, that the Rabbeinu can never ultimately get rid of this situation. For we spoke in here in the love of possessed by a Beinoni, and the individual is unable to banish foreign desires, for that we learned that in Tanya. That's the Alter Rebbe explained to us. It's not our avodah is to banish evil. Our avodah is to control it. Our avodah is we shouldn't have it in thought, speech, and action, and even though it's still there. And he's only able to ensure to find that they find no expression in his thought and speech and action, as explained in Tanya, the 12th chapter of Tanya. She should at least be hidden. We should flip it over. Instead of my godly soul's hidden, I'll flip it over. My animal soul should be hidden. That would be that we want to accomplish. Now we understand we can't get rid of the animal soul, but let it be hidden. Let it become the Ava Mesuteres. Let the Ava to Eibush come revealed. And the Ava to the world and to my animalistic desires, that should be a hidden thing. And that should be in jail, Bechinas Galus. That should be the entity to being in exile. Va'avdus, and she come to serve, Lakeres Abayis Gevirta, to come to and serve its master, so to say, its leader, and that's your godly soul. Why do you need it for? Why don't you just get rid of it? Why didn't the Eibush just say, okay, you can get rid of it? Why Takabeni cannot get rid of it? Because we need it. We're still humans, and we need that animal soul. And why do we need that animal soul? Because we need to eat, and we need to drink, and we need to have certain enjoyments in life. We need the animal soul. We're not trying to get rid of the animal soul. We need it. We want to make use of her in her own essentials only, such as eating and drinking. If the godly soul is to remain within the body, and thereby is able to fulfill the requirements of the Torah mitzvah, the individual must eat and drink. He should therefore use the animal's natural soul for physical things, expressly for the spiritual purpose of the godly soul. It should become it should become a vehicle to the godly soul. That's what we learned in Tanya. We're not trying to get rid of the animal soul. We're trying to use the animal. Actually, we need the animal soul. We need taiva. We should have a delight in godliness. We should have a delight. This all comes from the animal soul. That's why a human being uses delight through his body. But what should be the focal point? What should be the gevirta, as he says, the stay of the house? The stay of the house should be my nefesh elikis, my neshama, which is feminine. That should be the stay of the house. Dakeres habayis. What is dakeres habayis in a Jewish home? Is the wife. She's dakeres habayis. She sets the tone of the house. She sets the focus of the house. And she's the one who creates the whole journey of the house. And that's what it should be. That's the neshama. The isha is the neshama. She's the neshama of the house. My neshama of my house, of my body, is my neshama. It should be the keres habayis. I have an nefesh bahamis. I have this animal soul. I need the animal soul to use it out correctly. So thus, for example, is food and drink who I tend to provide it with strength to be able to study Torah and to engage divine service and the like. With the chsiv, as it's written in the Torah itself, in all, know him in all your ways. Torah doesn't want you to live only a spiritual life, because the only way you can live a spiritual life is through your physical reality, and therefore stay in business and have success and be very successful and have good food, but all do it for the mainstay of your godly soul. That's the focus in your life. That's the whole purpose you have all this. So your ways clearly speaks of man's corporal activities. Yet even in these, we're commanded to know him, to bind ourselves to God. These physical actions, utilize them for the purpose designated by them in order to thereby know him. And the only way we can do that is by revealing our godly soul, by letting out our godly soul and revealing our godly soul. And the only way we can do that is if we take control of our animalistic soul. We only can do that by taking control of our animalistic soul, by telling him the most important thing in my life is the love of God. The most important thing in my life is to be a Yid, to be a Jew, and to live like a Jew, and to love like a Jew, and to enjoy like a Jew. And that's my focus in life. The truth is, that is Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is a Jew comes and says to the Eibishter, I'm gonna, this year is different. That's gonna be Bafilko, but Tamelichuni Aleichem. You're my king. You're my agenda. Again, not the Eibishter is the king of the world. You're my king. You're my agenda. You're my focus. You're my life. You're everything I need. And therefore, that's the focal point of my life. Everything else I need for this purpose. And that's the whole beauty of Rosh Hashanah. That's why it's a simple concept, Rosh Hashanah. It's a very simple blow of the shofar, simple blow. It's to refocus a human being to his real purpose. His real purpose is the soul, which is a chelik alakama mamash. It's a posh. It's very simple. It's very focused. It has one desire, it has one concept. And that's the beauty. Today is the 28th day of the month, which until the 28th day of the month is chapter 135 to chapter 139. The Rebbe writes today, God's blessing brings wealth. This is so in general, but especially to whoever gives of his time to occupy himself with community needs, in matters of charity and strengthening Yiddishkeit. As the saying goes, God does not remain in debt. For every good thing a person does, he is recompensed grandly by God with children, health, livelihood, and the Eibishter gives everything, Baruch Hashem, in abundance. May you all be blessed. We come close to 48 hours to Yom Rosh Hashanah. And Meitz Hashem, tomorrow we'll do Chitas at 8:30. As tomorrow is a longer davening, and we have what do you call Hataras Nedarim after davening, and everybody's welcome to come on Zoom to be matan if you cannot make it to the shul on 7:40 tomorrow, 7:45. We're gonna do Hataras Nedarim, and you're welcome to come. You can do it on Zoom. And you can we'll get together at 8:30. We'll do the chitas of the day. I wish you all a wonderful and beautiful day. If Elliot, you want to blow the shofar for the last time this year, it'll be a great honor.